أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحابة رضوان الله تعالى عنهم أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. فصل في التيمم لخوف درن أو عدم ماء أو ود من الطهارة تيمما. This is verse 89. Now, is anyone familiar with the story behind the tayammum? You know, the cause, how it came about? It's one for the ladies, you know. We wouldn't have it if it wasn't for the ladies. Yeah, seriously, we wouldn't have it. Sayyida Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha.
I think it's Aisha.
Yeah. And they stopped, they were returning back to Medina. And Sayyida Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha had a favourite necklace.
Oh yeah, she dropped it.
And she lost it. She definitely had it before, you know, they stopped.
Oh.
So it took so long for them to find the necklace. And they had run out of water because, you know, they were returning to Medina. They had no intention of staying there that long, because their intention was, you know, to return to Medina and be there in time for prayer. So by the time they before they got there, before they got to Medina, the provision and everything, there was nothing there. They just stopped for a small rest. It got dark, the time for prayer came, there was nothing to do wudu with. This ayah of tayammum descended. So they did tayammum, and they still looked for Lady Aisha's necklace. They still didn't find it. They left her there with someone to look for it, and they both gave up. So when she sat on the camel and the camel rose, there was a necklace. And by the time they got back, another story kicked in, but we ain't going to touch that one. No way. I'm not going to that one. Yeah? Okay. So the ayah, what does tayammum mean? Literally, tayammum, the word tayammum means, you know, to aim. To aim. Qasd. You know the word hajj means qasd as well, you know, to aim. And tayammum, you know, means to aim as well. Do you remember this morning we said we look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lays the words down in the Quran? That's how it's laid. La tayammamul khabitha. Don't aim for filth. You see, the word here in this ayah is tayammum. But it doesn't mean, you know, wipe yourself with filth. Yeah? La وَلَا تَيَمَّمُوا الْخَبِيثَ. This is from Surah Baqarah, ayah 267. Now, this is how the madhab understands it. It is an alternative. It's not an alternative to water. It's not a badal. Yeah? It's not in place of water. There is that opinion within Islam. Yeah? But it's not the opinion of the madhab. It is license. It's tabaha. It's permission that's given to, in certain circumstances, the parameters are laid, you can purify with dust. And it literally means striking the earth, shaking the dust off, wiping the face, you know, the parameters of the face that we talked about before, then striking it again, and then wiping the hands. That fulfills the fard. We'll come to it, you know, the fard, the sunan, and the recommendations, like we did with the others. We'll deal with this. This is just the introduction to it. Now, what you can do with it is exactly what you can do with wudu. Yeah. So if you're in the state of major, if you need to do ghusl, you can do tayammum if there's no water. If you need to do wudu, you can do tayammum. Now, who is permitted? People who fear for their life, yeah, for their wealth and their livelihood. The scenario that's given is, I'm a farmer, I rely on my crop, my agriculture. So I've got enough water to, water my plants, but I haven't got enough to do wudu or to do ghusl. The priority will be to water my agriculture. I will do tayammum. Yeah? If I'm a herder, I rely on my livestock. I've got water to water my animals. I will water my animals. I will do tayammum. If I'm on a journey and I run out of water, if I fear for my life, if I go seeking for water, or my livestock or my wealth that I have with me, if that is in danger, I will do tayammum. So our scenario would be, I'm a shopkeeper. If I leave my shop, it'll be robbed. If I go and do wudu, I will do tayammum. Yeah? If you're ill, and using water will delay recovery, then you will do tayammum. You don't self-diagnose.
If you have psoriasis and eczema, and I have psoriasis on my feet sometimes.
Tayammum.
If you have a small a cut, putting a plaster over it on your hands or somewhere where water would reach, would you do tayammum, or would that just be?
Depends on how big the cut is. If it's just.
Who does this belong to the book with the address going around?
That's mine.
Yeah. Say it again.
So, for instance, a cut on your hand or somewhere where water would reach.
Well, if if using water will make the cut worse, yeah, or will delay the healing, then you would do tayammum. But again, depends on what kind of cut it is. If it's just a scratch, no. If you've got a cold, if you've got a fever, and using water will, make the fever worse or make the cold worse or delay recovery, then you would use tayammum.
So if it's a wound and you can't get water in it, you would.
No, if it's a wound,
Yeah.
and it's got a bandage over it,
Mm-hmm.
you would just wipe the bandage. Then you would do wudu. We're talking about scenarios where there's an illness. Yeah, with bandages, again, this text is not, comprehensive. With bandages, you wipe over bandages. Yeah. We're talking about, scenarios where there's genuine illness. Using water will make the illness worse, or will delay recovery from it. Then you use tayammum. If you've got, something like eczema or what was that word? Psoriasis, any skin disease, then if using water will, make the situation worse, you use tayammum. Scenarios like, people have athlete's foot. Putting on khuf makes things worse. Because, it collects more sweat. Then, use tayammum. By the way, sorry, Alice. Morocco. Don't ask Moroccans about tayammum. They will find every excuse.
We have rocks at the masjid.
There you go.
Honestly, we do. You'll have a shelf, there'll be a rock, so somebody can't be bothered to go to the water, just grab a rock just there. Or if they say, sometimes it's really packed.
Yeah.
If you go in front of somebody, break their thing, so they'll just do a rock and
there you go.
So you can't do it in that situation. Say the masjid is really packed, and you can't get to the wudu station, and the Jummah is going to finish. You can't just go, okay, tayammum, and then just, if you're not in wudu.
You know your situation better than I do.
Sorry, just on that. So if you're in like Medina or not so much Medina but Mecca, and say you need to take wudu halfway through like your tawaf, but the toilets are really far away. Can you then have like a tayammum stone and do tayammum, or do you need to go like wudu and stuff?
In that scenario, they've got enough places to do wudu there. I was just there a couple of years ago, so it's not. No, I'm not going to take that one. No. And now, what I've been told, there's more wudu areas. But, we're looking at genuine need. Yeah? Where there's genuine need, yes. Where there's, it's not, an alternative. Because the madhab does not accept that it's an alternative to water. Water is the ideal, is the thing that purifies. This is a license.
So is it like as soon as water you get availability to water?
Yeah, it's gone. Right. So again, going back, always keep in mind your safety. Is paramount. So we're looking at your personal, your wealth, your health. Keep those in mind. If using water will, affect that, will delay recovery, do tayammum. Yes.
What about, like, just in general, let's say, can we be able to skip one part of the wuzu, for instance, which is, for example, the masah or the ear, and then instead of, because sometimes when the weather conditions are cold, for instance, maybe ear infection. So does that mean just one little thing we have to do the tayammum, or we can just skip the air?
No, you can't. The tahara has to be complete.
It has to be complete.
Yeah, because if you can't use water, use tayammum.
I see.
It must be complete. You can't skip.
I see.
Yeah, because it's like I'll give you an example. If could you skip a rak'ah? No, this is exactly the same. You can't. Yes.
Wait, was the question about ghusl or wudu?
No, wudu.
Yeah, I have a question though. So, for example,
I don't want to go back to wudu.
Okay, it's really quick. So, they said ears was not. It wasn't part of the
It's sunnah.
Okay, yeah. So why? So, say for example, like you're kind of ill or whatever, and you wash like your arms, your face, feet, all those areas you need to. Then why would your wudu not be accepted? You've done all the far.
Well, if you can wash everything else, why can't you wipe your ears?
I'm just saying, like.
I ain't gonna go there. I don't see a valid excuse.
But it's sunnah, it's not fancy.
Yeah, I'm just
No, but it's still a sunnah. Sunnah is not slight. Sunnah is sunnah. Yes.
This is back to wudu.
Oh God.
You have a short period of time to catch a Jamaat Salah, for instance.
Yes.
It's the last rakah. To do it, you need to do your wudu, but you absolutely just have to hit the fara'id. You can skip the sunnah then, just catch the prayer.
Yes.
That's the only time where it would be permissible.
Yes. When we cover, inshallah, next time, when we cover the prayer thing, you know, when the sun is setting, you have very little time.
Yeah, like
you just do the fard. You just do the fard aspect of wudu, and you skip everything, even in the prayer. You skip the sunnah. You just do the fard and catch it. You can do it, but we'll do it then, inshallah. Not now. Okay. Are we clear on, the reasons why? Yeah? Okay. You must look for water. Yeah? In those circumstances, you must look for water. 1 mile radius, according to your ability. Yeah? So, a young, healthy male doesn't have an excuse. Women do have excuse. I don't know why, but some women are more fit than men. But in our books, they say that they. But I really wouldn't. But both, it's taken according to ability. So according to your ability, your health, your makeup, you look for the water. Now, once the people who look for water, they divide it into 3 categories. Yeah? Now, there's the category who is a seasoned traveller. He knows the route, so he knows if there's water or not water. He is permitted to do tayammum. The seasoned traveller, to the end of ikhtiyari time. I know this word doesn't make sense, but I'm not going to go into time. But ikhtiyari is, the time in which you have a choice of prayer, and daruri time is in which you don't have a choice. You have to pray. So when we're dealing with tayammum, we're dealing in the time of choice. We're not dealing in the time of need. Yeah. So the one who knows that he's going to find water, he's permitted to delay. Yeah. The one who doesn't know, he's not a seasoned traveller. Yeah. He's permitted, because he doesn't know. Maybe he'll find water, maybe he won't. Middle of ikhtiyari time. The one who's given up hope of finding water, he prays once the time comes in. Does that make sense? Yeah? Now, again, our texts talk about being robbed and being attacked by wild animals. Ain't gonna happen. Maybe in London there's different types of wild animals. Birmingham's no better. But again, keep in mind, it's your situation. You know yourself better.
I don't think we understood that.
What?
The wild animal.
What, the animal? I told you I don't want to go into that.
Just leave it then.
Okay, look. I won't repeat this. The ikhtiyari time, here the times for prayer there. Yeah? It'll make sense. You're listening?
Yeah.
The ikhtiyari time for dhuhr is when the sun is on top of your head. Yeah? Midday. Yeah? It lasts to one shadow of your length. You know, one shadow of the object. The ikhtiyari of asr, yeah, kicks in at one shadow. The ikhtiyari, and it lasts till, the yellowing of the sun, which is about, half an hour to 45 minutes, depends on the time of the year, before sunset. The ikhtiyari of maghrib is when you open your fast. The ikhtiyari of isha is after sunset. There's the reddish hue in the sky. So once that disappears, isha kicks in proper. And it lasts to the first third of the night. Salatul Subh kicks in when the real dawn kicks in. The real dawn is differentiated from the false dawn. Is the false dawn, you see the line on the horizon, and there's a like on the heart monitors, there's a beep. It's like that, but it doesn't increase. It doesn't start opening up. That's the false dawn. The real dawn is that line on the horizon starts opening up like a shell. So that's when Salatul Subh kicks in. It lasts till sunrise.
The prayer times that we follow,
It's a bit different.
Is it different to the Maliki?
Yeah, Asr is different.
No, the Subh one.
Subh one, as far as I know, it's right.
You can follow that one.
Yeah. Will that do? The daruri, yeah? Okay, brilliant.
That's ikhtiyari time.
That's ikhtiyari time. The daruri time of dhuhr begins from one shadow and lasts till sunset. It's gonna. I ain't gonna answer no questions on it. The beginning of the daruri time of asr is from the yellowing of the sun till sunset. So the daruri of asr and dhuhr is shared after the yellowing of the sun till sunset. Maghrib, the daruri of Maghrib begins from when Isha kicks in till Subh, and then the daruri of Isha kicks in from the first third of the night. The beginning of the second third till Subh. Yeah.
That if you haven't prayed it already, you must be doing it for whatever reason.
Yeah, if you haven't prayed them in the ikhtiyari time, if you find yourself in the daruri time, you must pray them. So my joke is, Malikis have the most easiest time for prayers, and you must be a lazy sod if you can't catch your prayers. We don't have this concept of qada. They do not get qada till the daruri time finishes.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Is that because only 3 times of salah is mentioned in the Quran?
5 times Imam Malik has.
Sorry, what did you say the daruri time for Isha was?
From the beginning of the second third
Second of the night, yeah?
Yeah, till Subh. Yeah, till Subh. Okay. Now, tayammum, you can only back to tayammum. You can only pray one fard with one tayammum, but you can pray any sunnah or janazah prayer with that same tayammum. So any nafil that is attached to the prayer, for instance, before Dhuhr or after Dhuhr or before Asr or after Maghrib, or before Subh, for that prayer. You can only do the tayammum once the time, ikhtiyari time for that prayer kicks in. You can't do it before. There must be a correlation with tayammum and the prayer. So you do tayammum and pray straight away. So with one tayammum, one fard, but you can pray a janazah with it, or you can pray any prayers that are attached with that prayer. Are we okay on that? Mm-hmm. Okay. You're also permitted to pray any nafil. So if you did tayammum for a nafil, you could do it.
A separate tayammum. A separate tayammum.
Separate tayammum. No, but that's for other nafils that have got no, attachment with the fard. For instance, you wanted to, read Quran, or you just wanted to, for instance, read Salat, Tahajjud, or Doha, or like that. You could do it.
So another one has to be done after you've prayed, and if you want to pray again or read Quran, you have to do the tayammum.
No, if you with the same one, you could pray Quran. Read Quran.
Oh, okay.
But if you wanted to pray a fard, you would have to do another one.
Okay.
Yeah? A traveller, you can't. A resident can't pray Salat al-Jum'ah with tayammum.
A resident.
Yeah. Now have a guess why.
They can probably find water.
Pardon?
They could probably find water in their locale.
Of course. Yeah. No, because if he's sick, it's not a wajib upon him. If he's travelling, it's not a wajib upon him. Yeah. Now we move on to, the fara'id of tayammum. We'll go through fard, sunnah, mustahab, and then I'll show you how to do it with a stone, inshallah. There are 8 fara'id of tayammum. So the first is to wipe the whole face. So we've already know the limits of the face. To wipe the hands up to the elbow, ankle. God, it's time to go home, isn't it? To the wrists, ankle part. Must be funny hands. Yeah. What you do is you remove any ring that you have. Yeah? It's the same, with wudu, when you're doing it, you have to turn them. If you wear a ring, when you're doing wudu, make sure you turn it so water gets underneath. If you can take it off. The only people, we don't have those kind of people now. The people, do you remember people used to sign there? Yeah. People of authority, government posts and all that, they were permitted, if they couldn't take them off, they didn't have to, because there was a reason for them. Otherwise, there's no reason. Okay. The third, and make sure that you wipe in between your hands as well, like in wudu. The third is the intention. Now, we already discussed earlier that the place of the intention is the heart, but there's a correlation with striking the earth and the intention. So it's at that moment you make that intention. The intention is always to be permitted, istabaha. It's not like, before. It's to be permitted to pray. Yeah? If you just made the intention that you're fulfilling, if you can't remember that, if you just made the fard of tayammum, it'll suffice. But the particular is that you'll be permitted to pray, or that prayer. What was it? Okay, Thalith, 4. The second is that you strike clean earth, because the ayah in the Quran is tayammama sayda tayyiba, whole earth.
Is that the fourth?
That's the fourth.
Yeah.
Striking cleaner.
Yeah. The fifth is that, it's all in one continuous action. Now, sixth, you must have clean earth. So what do we mean by this?
Is that the same as 4?
No, that was striking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? This is having it. Now, what's meant by this is anything naturally found on the surface of the earth. So anything that has been processed, gone through any means of manufacture, can't be used. And it needs to be naturally found on the earth. So vegetation, trees, wood, no. Glass, no. Fired bricks, no. Stone, that's not been, polished. Okay. Rocks. Is rock and stone the same thing?
Pretty much.
Yeah? Okay. Forget about rock.
So are these things you're enumerating are things that we can
Yes.
use?
You can use them. So soil.
You say rocky stone.
Yeah? Soil, sand, stone. Shall we just say stone? Yeah? Bricks, if they've not been fired, you can use them. Someone asked me about this, plaster. Plaster is actually made from sandstone. I don't know if it's sandstone, but it's made from a form of rock. But it's been processed. You can't use it. So, garden soil is fine, sand is fine, stones are fine. The seventh is that the tayammum must be attached to the prayer. You can't do tayammum before the time of prayer has come in, and you can't do it before you pray. You must do it and pray.
Can I ask about the relevant stone? You've got polished marble.
No. It's been processed. But in ancient mosques, you have big boulders of stone walls. The edges are processed, the middle are not.
Okay.
So those are okay. And in Morocco, they have big boulders in the courtyard.
You don't have to do the dark. Is it dark? Where you have to roll?
No.
That's not.
No, not this. The eighth point is that the time for the prayer must have entered. So keep in mind, it's the ikhtiyari time we're looking at, not the daruri time. Are we okay on that? Yeah?
I'm not so clear on, sorry to be the annoying one, but I'm not so clear on the ikhtiyari and the daruri in terms of...
Okay, listen, let me finish tayammum.
Yeah.
If we have time, we'll go through the times.
Okay. No, not sorry, just like in terms of when we can do tayammum. Like, so
the tayammum, you can do them only in the ikhtiyari time.
Okay.
Only because you should not try to ever find yourself in the daruri time.
Okay.
Yeah? The daruri time is you find yourself in it. You've not planned it, it's something that's happened. Yeah, it's a safety net. Yeah? But what it means is, with the daruri time, your prayer for that day does not become qada.
If you go beyond daruri time,
if it goes beyond daruri time, the ikhtiyari time of the next prayer has come in, that prayer has become qada. So what you find is, your dhuhr and asr, 10 cell set, does not become qada. Your maghrib and isha, till sunrise, doesn't become qada. Your subh, till sunrise, doesn't become qada. So Malikis must be really lazy to children.
And if you get your takbir before sunrise and your praying after your rak'ahs go through sunrise.
Let me finish this.
Yeah, okay.
We'll come back. Yeah. After this, I'll take you any questions you have. Yeah. Okay. The sunnah of tayammum are 3. So to wipe the hands up to the elbows, to strike the earth a second time, that's the second sunnah, and the third,
striking the earth twice is it the sunnah?
Yeah. The third is to give preference to the face before the hands. But if you wiped your hands first and then wiped your face, your tayammum still would be valid and your prayer would be valid as well. Now then, the recommendations. Is to say the tasmiyah, to say basmallah. And then the praiseworthy description. Now, I'll show it to you. Who's done tayammum before with a stone?
Oh.
Anas. I bought my stones. Okay. So what you're mimicking with a stone, first of all, the stone, try to get a flat stone, something your size of your palm. Yeah? You're trying to mimic striking the earth. So we haven't got sand or soil. So we're carrying a piece of stone. So right hand, side, there, thumb, you're going round. And making sure that the tips and the sides are rubbing. Then the heel of the palm and then inside of the palm itself. Make proper that there's some kind of residue passing onto your hands, and then you repeat the same onto the left hand. So when I begin this, that's where my intention should be. because this is the first strike. So then wipe the face like you exactly the same you would wash your face. And you only need to do it once, and then you repeat it again. Now, this is, what the author calls the praiseworthy description, is one continuous action. So the left hand goes under the left hand like that, passes over, wipes, I cut my elbow, turn, wipe the inside of the arm. Now, you see, what was on my left I've used it to wipe my right hand and arm. So now I rub what's on my left onto my, right onto my left, wipe my inside of my arm, then outside elbow, then outside hand, then in between, left, right, thumb, because when I wiped, did you see I left the thumbs. So now left thumb, right thumb. That's a praiseworthy description. Tayammum done. Now, if you just wiped it and just did your face and did that, it would do it. But I slowed down. But it's all one continuous action. There you go. So that's anybody want to go? Anybody want to have a go? No?
Go on, Edward. Go. Might be getting thrown out.
No. Mimic, striking the earth. So you begin with. No, that finger. Yeah, outside. Wipe it, rub it. Now the edges of your heel, of your palm, then the edges of your thumb. And inside and in between the fingers and the tips of your fingers, making sure that the tips of your finger are being wiped. Yeah. Now inside, rub it.
Does it matter if it's not one continuous?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if you just rubbed it, rubbed your face, rubbed it, and just wiped your arms and hand, it'll do it.
But with the stone, if say you get disconnected, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But it's better if you get into a habit of not, because what you got to keep in mind is you're mimicking that one strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For ladies, I'm sure this was probably touched upon in terms of having nail polish as a waterproof barrier. But if you don't have the means to take it off for whatever reason,
what, for tayammum?
For wudu and for tayammum, but
for tayammum is not a problem.
Tayammum,
right? For wudu, it is a problem. You should try to have a water soluble one, because you can get yeah.
But if you don't and you can't find something, then your wudu is still
because there shouldn't be any barrier between your skin and water.
So that extends to waterproof makeup as well.
Yes. We never got you to finish.
Whether I had it out.
I've done everything that if I were a brown man would be pink.
Yeah.
I've done everything there.
Yeah, and then you repeat
the
it.
Other side as well.
Yeah, you repeat it. Then you rub your face. What about it? They got nothing to do with wudu or tayammum. they They don't affect your wudu or tayammum. Sorry. Yeah.
It's broken.
Okay.
It's broken.
What breaks tayammum is exactly what breaks wudu. But there is one addition.
Wait, so there's only one recommended act when you do tayammum?
There's two. The basmallah. You say bismillah.
Yeah.
And you know, doing it all in one continuous action.
Okay.
The praiseworthy action.
When you say bismillah when you strike?
Well, yeah.
Before you strike?
Bismillah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The one addition is finding water. If you find water before you pray, before you say the takbir, it declares your wudu, tayammum null and void.
I'm just laughing because I'm imagining being in a desert and you've just done your tayammum and then a spring comes up. You're like, I'm just about to say the takbir.
Null and void.
You'd be very grateful because
null and void.
Is that the hadith? إذا حضر الماء بطل التيمم. Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah.
حضر الماء.
حضر. Yeah. If it came. Yeah. Once you find water, it voids the tayammum. But if you begin prayer,
and the spring of water,
you carry on praying. You carry on praying. It does not break wudu. It breaks the condition of breaking tayammum is before you breathe.
What if it's like, let's just say, I know hypothetically you're in the desert and like, I don't know, a truck goes past and it has water in it, I don't know, water tanks or whatever, and you don't have access to it.
Say it again?
Let's say you see the water go past. Hypothetically, like, I don't know, tanks of water or whatever, but you don't have access to that water. Yeah. So you can't really use it.
Fine. You use them.
That's fine.
There's one, our scholars talk about this, and they're very particular about this. If water is expensive to buy to do tayammum, to buy to do wudu, do you do tayammum?
That sounds reasonable though.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is livelihood, wealth and...
Yeah.
Is that your fatwa?
That's not my fatwa. I don't give fatwa. Okay. Has anybody got any questions about tayammum?
If you're doing it on flat earth, you have to do that painting the sides of your fingers as well.
No, when you're doing it on soil or sand, when you strike it, the dust comes in between, and that's what we're trying to mimic when we're using the stone.
Do you dust it off as well, don't you?
Yeah, you shake it off. You shake it off, then you wipe your face. That's why, if you're using dust, there should be traces of dust on your hands. You can't just dust it all off.
Being in a very cold environment where perhaps doing water you couldn't do it, e.g. Ottawa in a winter's day, minus 40 degrees or something, and you couldn't, or tayammum. Something, tayammum, but
tayammum.
Your hands would be covered because of the cold. Can you do it over your gloves? Or?
No.
You might do, because it gets really cold.
No.
Can you do it on snow? Presumably not.
No.
Oh really? Snow?
No.
Really?
You know what you would do with snow? If it's too cold, you do tayammum.
You can melt the snow.
If it's too cold, you do tayammum. So why would you use snow?
It's water, isn't it? Really?
I wish I can be.
What?
Because when I did my military service in Cyprus, like the water was freezing, and like I would. If I needed ghusl or something, I would just jump in that freezing shower and I would.
It's really good for you. Really good for you.
It can be surprisingly hard to find something which is unchanged in London. Like if you're short, you have to be obviously loads of water, but if you're really short of time, there's next to nothing that's unchanged.
No, but what you do is carry a stone with you.
Yeah.
Carry a stone. Keep one in your car.
Where can I buy one from?
Huh?
Start selling stones, yeah?
You need to go to the park and find a rock.
It's quite difficult to get it good.
No, it's not.
You go to the beach and
Go to the beach. Go to the beach.
I'm going to go to the beach.
Go to the beach.
Literally go to the park, you will find
Yeah?
it.
Do a bit of gardening. Do a bit of gardening. Yes.
What's Peterborough?
Pardon?
With a tree.
You can't do it with a tree.
No,
No, you can't do it with a tree. It has to be naturally from the soil, on the surface of the earth. Something natural. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word Sa'idun Tayyiba. Sa'idun Tayyiba is something that is wholesome, found on the surface of the earth. It can't be something that, you know, has been processed or grown. Because if you could use a tree, you could use grass. You can't use grass. Okay. You got 15 minutes to ask anything.
Well, can I answer my dog question?
Go on then, ask your dog question.
I'm just asking, you have a dog as a pet if you're not, if you're in a garden or like, as a pet.
Say it again?
Are you allowed a dog as a pet?
Do you live with family?
No, I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying, say like everyone was Maliki
Huh?
and they didn't mind in the
Yes.
house.
Yes.
It wasn't just like you were doing Maliki, you want your dog. Would that be allowed?
What's your name, by the way?
Mahia.
Maria.
Mahia.
Mahia. MashaAllah. Our society. No. You know, our society and our minds have not, you know, evolved to where we live. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And the environment that we live. You know, I really thank God that, you know, I've been with a man who, since the mid-80s, has always said that, you know, practice your deen according to your ability and the environment that you live in. And this is a man who lives in the middle of nowhere in Morocco. Yeah? It says, practice the Sharia according to your ability and the times and the environment that you live in. Yeah? Now, our books, because they and our societies never had this concept of pets. No, let me take that back. We've had concept of pets, you know, but we've not had the concept of dogs as pets. Yeah? Dogs have always been part and parcel of Muslim society, but they've never been part and parcel of, you know, like, you know, cats were. And you've just reminded me of an opinion which will help you. Yeah? And it's of Imam Mazari. Now, Imam Mazari says that, you know, why cats are, you know, clean. I mean, not clean. Why, you know, there's no objection.
Yeah.
Because they're in and out of the houses. Yeah? But he says if the dogs, you know, that are kept, if they're in and out of the houses, he says the hukum is the same. Yeah? But you see, why we never kept cats as pets. Cats were just about, and they came in and out, and there was never any restrictions. We didn't, you know, tag them. We didn't what do they do? Microchip them. Yeah, they weren't our property. They were part and parcel of our households, but they weren't ours. Do you understand? So if a dog can be like that, Imam Mazari says the hukum is the same. Now Imam Mazari gave this, he was of modern day Tunisia, but he was a mujtahid mutlaq. He still stayed within the madhab of Imam Malik, but that's his opinion. In and out. same opinion. I'm not telling her that. I'm sharing the opinion of Imam Mazari.
But for me, like the Surah Kahf is like proof. Those 7 companions they had.
No, but do you understand what I said? That you see, our scholarship, they won't go beyond the book.
They're not engaging with.
Yeah, they're not engaging on the environment and where society has moved to.
But didn't those people in the Surah Al-Kahf, the dog was their pet?
But they weren't Muslim. They were before Islam. And by the way, they were Christian.
Yeah, but they were still in the Quran.
No, they're in the Quran. No. I'm not saying it in a derogatory way.
No.
Why Allah mentioned them was because they were people of faith. Yeah. Now, it's nothing wrong. It's just that, the concept, our scholarship won't move. I only know one mosque where, they've actually made provision for guide dogs. They actually let, where the shoes, where you walk into the mosque and where you put your shoes.
Would be something that would be universal.
Yeah, but there's only one mosque in the UK that I'm aware of. It's a central mosque in Leicester.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you saying that there's nothing in the books that prohibits it or allows it? It's just not really mentioned because it wasn't.
No, what it is that you see, things like this, the things that you are raising, get talked about when society is at ease.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, our scholarship, for the last 100 years or even before, has never been in that ease.
Yeah.
And when the opinion that I'm telling you of Imam Mazari, we were at ease.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about Imam Malik?
Yes.
I heard that when he was younger, he wanted to be a singer and he had 2 earrings. He had an earring in each ear. Is that true?
I've heard of that, but about the earrings, it's not. No. The earrings is not untoward how Medina society was. They're boys, like in this country. English, at Victorian times, they used to make sure that boys had long hair and they wore navy thing, and that even still there's a certain kind of look that boys are supposed to look like at certain schools. Boys having earrings, young boys having earrings, is well recorded. Imam Malik is not the only one.
No, I have earrings as well.
I haven't got a problem. You want to wear your earrings? I haven't got a problem. Yeah. About the singing one, I find that impossible to understand.
So the singing one.
Yeah, that he wanted to be a singer. Tell you why. His grandfather was a companion who fought in every battle other than Badr. Yeah. He was one of those. He was one of those who buried Sayyidina Uthman radhiyallahu anhu. Their family was his father, his uncles, all were well-known tabi'een, transmitters of hadith. Their family was known for their standing, scholarship and piety. For a young man from that family to want to be a singer just doesn't fit.
Just want to be independent, maybe.
I tell you something that something that he wanted to be, something that he wanted to be. He wanted to be better than his brother.
Okay.
Was he a singer?
His brother was the scholar. When he would go to the majlises of the shuyukh, he would be introduced of the brother of Nawfal. And Imam Malik said,
he achieved that.
He said, it got to a time where he was introduced, Malik was introduced. No, Nawfal used to be introduced as the brother of Malik.
That was later, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot later. Yeah. Anything else?
Can I ask again about praying Fajr offensively late?
Right, Fajr. Okay. Imam Malik radhiyallahu anhu has this hadith that if you catch one rakat of Asr as the sun is setting, you've caught Asr. And if you catch one rakat as the sun is rising, you've caught Subh. Now, but what we mean by rakat, we mean you catch the sajda.
Not the ruku.
Yeah? Because even when ruku is mentioned, it means sajda. But when you catch the ruku in jamaat, you catch the virtue of jamaat.
Okay.
That's different. You need to catch the sajda.
The first sajda.
First, yeah. Yes.
I just would like to know the nawafil in the Mazhab Maliki. For Fajr there is 2 before the first, and for Zuhr is there 2, and then
what you find is that there are sunan that are akid.
Yeah.
The daily nafil are divided into 3 categories. You've got 2 rak'ats which are raghib, that they have their own category, because the Prophet ﷺ said that these 2 rak'ats he and the prophets before never missed, which are the 2 before subh. Yeah, so they're called raghaib. You desire them, so they're called raghaib. They're under nafil, but they're graded as raghaib. Then you have 2 or 4, it's up to you, before subh. These are akid now, nafil that are stressed. Yeah, no, for subh there's 2. The raghaib.
Just now you meant?
No, these are for dhuhr.
Okay.
For dhuhr, it's up to you if you want to pray 2 rakats or if you want to pray 4 rakats. But it's always in 2s. It's always in 2s. So it's 2 rakats or 4 before subh.
Before
2, no, sorry, dhuhr. Yeah, 2 after dhuhr. Yeah,
Okay.
2 after dhuhr. 2 or 4 before asr. Yeah, 6 after maghrib. Yeah, nothing after isha.
Except with
No, not after isha. Not after isha. I'll come to it. Hold on. If you are someone who prays tahajjud, yeah, then delay your shaf and witr. Yeah. Now, if you know that you are going to get up before subh kicks in, yeah, delay your shaf and witr. If you know you are not going to get up in time for subh, then delay your shaf and witr just before you go to sleep. Yeah. Now, if you know you're going to miss it, then pray it with isha.
What about the 2 rakat before maghrib?
No. Well, let me finish the akid. Yeah. So the shaf is nafil. Yeah. The 2 are nafil, and the 1 rakat is sunnah mu'akkada. Yeah. It's sunnah mu'akkada. You read. Yeah. 1 rakat is of sunnah mu'akkada. The 2 rakats before of shaf, you read after Fatiha, you read Surah A'la. And in the 2nd rakat, you read Surah Kafirun. And in witr, you read after Fatiha, Qul huwallahu ahad, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Then the final prayer, nafil that is stressed, akid, is the doha, is between 2, 6, 8. Yeah? 2, 4, 6, 8. It's up to you. Yeah? Now those are, the akid, stressed prayers. What were you going to ask me? Have I answered it?
Partly.
Okay.
The sin that you said in the Maliki madhab, you have 1 sunnah prayer.
Sunnah mu'akkada.
Yeah. So that was the one after Isha.
Witr.
Witr.
1 rakat of witr.
Okay.
It's got nothing to do with Isha.
Okay. And that 1 rakat of witr.
Yeah.
What would you do in the So you do Surah Fatiha and then...
You read Surah Fatiha,
Yeah.
then after that you would read Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad,
Okay.
then you would read Surah Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq,
Okay.
then Qul A'udhu bi Rabbin Nas.
What about the qunut or the witr?
There's no qunut in witr.
There isn't.
Oh.
No.
So is that from other schools?
That's Hanafi fiqh.
Okay.
I think the Shafis do it. Shafis do it as well. Yeah, we read qunut in the second rakat of subh. We'll do that next time.
So you have to do that in Subh.
The qunut.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't know it.
Oh, you don't know it.
You do any...
No, you don't. You don't know it. You don't know it. That's it. It's a dua. If you don't know a dua, alhamdulillah, you don't know it.
So you'll press about it.
Yeah. The rule of thumb of the nafil, the nafil in the daytime are silent. Yeah, like the day, the prayers of the day are silent. The nafil of the night are said aloud.
Is that for both men and women?
Yes.
And women can read out loud?
Yes.
In person? Because I've heard opinions saying that women should always read quietly, even...
No.
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 Do we have to read aloud?
Yes, it's sunnah. No, the nafil?
No, just...
In the fard prayers?
Yeah.
Yes, it's sunnah.
For both men and women?
Yes. And if you don't, there's sajda sahu.
Every fard.
Every fard. The fard that are said aloud, the fard that are said aloud, and the fard that are said silent, is sunnah to do them silent and loud. If you miss them, you have to do sajda sahu. The limit of loud
It's different.
is what it is that it's you should hear yourself.
That's for every prayer.
No, loud.
For the loud prayers. So
Loud. Loud. Yeah. So the man, when you can hear yourself loud, his is a bit loud. The woman is less. Yeah. The silent is that the minimum is your lips moving. By the way, in prayer your lips have to move. Your lips, man and women, lips have to move. No, why? Because you're having a conversation. It's not mind reading. You're having a conversation. Yeah. The maximum is that someone else can hear you. Sorry, you can hear yourself. Silent. No, someone else can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Maximum. Silent. Yeah.
Just to double check.
Yeah.
The
Come on.
qunut, the dua qunut.
Yes.
That is in the sub nafil or sub fard.
Sub fard.
Okay.
It's in the second rakat,
Yeah.
after the surah, before the ruku. If you miss it, when you rise up from ruku, you can say it. Yeah. If you miss it totally, there is no sajda sahu, there is no guilt, there is nothing to pay.
And if you don't know, can you do any of the surah after Fatiha?
No, you can't. If you don't know it, there's nothing that replaces it.
So
The advice is learn it.
Shafa and Witr, you cannot pray it like Maghrib.
No. Shaf is with salam. 2 rakats with salam, and then you get up with the intention for witr, and you pray witr, and you do salam. 1 rakat.
If you pray behind somebody who's Hanafi, who does it as...
Don't pray.
Don't.
If you do, alhamdulillah. If you do pray, it's valid in their madhab. You follow the imam.
Can we pray behind Shia Imam?
No.
What?
None of them.
Huh?
None of them.
None of them.
Zayd?
Maybe Zayd.
No.
No?
No.
Just to be sure.
I am 110% sure. We don't pray behind the people of Bid'ah.
What if,
And that's including Sunnis.
what if they're
What's the definition? What's the definition of people in
what if
bid'ah?
they're mujahid?
I told you, including Sunnis. I answered your question.
But I think that the whole point is obviously you're not going to go around grilling people before you pray.
I tell you,
Bismillah.
no, I tell you my, and this is my practice for the last 30 years. If I don't see it and I don't hear it, I'll pray behind them. If I hear it, see it, I won't pray behind them. The mosque is at the top of my road, and for the last 10 years I haven't prayed. And the 20 years before that I was praying behind.
Plus, if you see and hear it with your own ears and eyes.
Yes.
As
Not
opposed to
hearsay.
yeah.
Not hearsay. You need to hear it. Because when you stand in front of God, you've got to answer.
When you hear what then?
Whatever.
Well, how was I know?
If you don't
know,
learn. Then pray behind me.
If you don't know, Bismillah.
But you'd have to know the definition of bid'ah and
exactly. Yes, you would. By bid'ah, we mean bid'ah in aqidah. We don't mean bid'ah in fiqh.
Okay.
We mean bid'ah in aqidah.
And if you're
people who believe that God sits on a throne and has everything else apart from a beard, yes, that's bid'ah.
Okay.
That's bid'ah.
But if it's like, look, I pray, it's not definitive that the Imam. I don't know what the Imam believes. That's what I pray there, and they believe that. But
Alhamdulillah. No. Have you heard it with your ears?
I just go there and I pray.
No problem.
One last thing about praying, women praying in Jama'ah, women leading.
Women cannot lead in the method. They cannot lead a fard, they cannot lead a nafil.
Even within
women cannot lead a nafil and women cannot lead a fard.
Can they follow somebody who's leading?
Women cannot lead a fard.
Well, among themselves even?
No. The madhab doesn't permit it. Because what you've got to understand is that the Medina was a generic community, it was a family. People, men prayed and women prayed with them. We did not have this thing that the women had a separate masalla. Because this is, something that, people need to claim back. Women prayed with men.
Yeah. Sheikh, I was told from our teachers that the men and women used to pray side by side at the start, and then it got revealed, and then they were told to go to the back.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I'm a bookworm and I've not come across that one.
Okay, that's fine. I'll get the reference from it.
Yeah, Bismillah.
What's the reason that we don't pray with melodious tone?
Pardon?
Melodious tone.
It's bid'ah.
What's melodian?
Melodious.
Like sing song.
Yeah, sing song.
So we don't.
I think you've already answered it. It's a sing song.
So we don't take the hadith about whoever doesn't sing the Quran is not from a mom.
No, ghunna is not, ghunna of music is the ghunna of articulating it properly. One of the reasons why Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu united the whole Medina behind one Imam in Tarawih because of the qira'ah. That's the understanding of the people of Medina, because the qira'ah was going out, and he made sure that the reciters were those of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum.
And how long is the wiping of the khuf?
Say again?
Is there a time limit on wiping the khuf?
No time limit, but it's recommended that you have a ghusl for Jummah. Anything else?
The two before Maghrib.
I told you we don't do it.
Okay.
We don't. We don't do the two for Maghrib.
Some people do it when they're.
No, the hadith is that there's 2 rakats between the adhan and iqamah. There's a hadith that and it's not specific for Maghrib. This is the thing that people who say specifically for Maghrib don't understand, that the hadith is general. Is for if you are going to bring one hadith, specify it. No, it's general, and the hukm which overrides that one is that there's no nafil after the fard of asr.
So it overrides it.
Yeah, and that overrides that hadith. Inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you.
اللهم صل صلاة كاملة وسلم سلاما تاما على سيدنا محمد الذي تنحل به العقد وتنفل به القرب وتقضى به الحوائج وتنال به الرغائب وحسن الخواتم ويستسقى الغمام بوجهك الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه في كل لمحة ونفس بعدد كل معلوم لك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. You know, we're all in the same boat. So I learn actually more from you than you learn from me. So may Allah, increase us in learning. Because, the one thing you've got to understand is that, we think of it as, very dry, but it's very wet. It's very wet because what we're doing is preparation to stand in front of Him. So everything that we're doing, everything in the deen, is to be in His presence. So if you keep that in mind, it actually comes to life. It's not, just do's and don'ts. That actually is a relationship that you're beginning, and it's a relationship that, lasts. It doesn't have an end. It has a beginning. It doesn't have an end. So may Allah give us tawfiq. Inshallah. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.